defending champions, beating Arteta's side by 3-1. Here to discuss it, Don Hutchison, Frank Leboeuf and Stevie Nicol. Stevie, Liverpool the best team in England and it's not even close, is it?
I tell you what, that first half, listen, you forget the Robertson mistake. That first half, I mean, it was men against boys. Arsenal, you got to give them credit. They had a real good shape and they had to have it, and they chased and they gave everything. But you know what? How do you play against a side that they can beat you up passing short, can beat you up passing long, can beat you up passing diagonally, can beat you up across the field? They just made the game look so easy. And yes, absolutely, this was, although for the Lacazette chance, this was one-sided, let's be honest.
It really was, in particular, as Stevie mentioned, that first half performance, exceptional, Frank.
Yeah, it was, and especially one guy, Van Dijk. I think the guy was doing everything he wanted. In fact, maybe because nobody was pressuring him. Sorry, he launched some long passes. Was so clinical. I mean, that was really amazing. But as Steve said, you know, we saw the superiority in every level from Liverpool, and Arsenal is lucky to be only 2-1 at halftime. It could have been really worse.
And I suppose Arsenal fans are there going, "Oi, I tell you what though, how come Liverpool was so good? It's 3-1. If Lacazette takes his chance, it's 2-2 and it could be a different game, Don."
I think you're right, Dan. I think for Arsenal fans, I think they can be optimistic. I mean, listen, they were outclassed tonight. Let's make no bones about it. I struggled to watch Arsenal when I was watching them play out from the back and taking chances. It was suicide football at times. But actually, they played some decent stuff. And when Ceballos come on, he started picking one or two passes. And you're right, he played that lovely little ball into Lacazette, who should have finished it. Then it would have been game on. But when you look at the bigger picture and the full 90 minutes, the way Liverpool at times were absolutely cruising, and Sadio Manes just keeps staying at a ridiculous level that he's playing at. He was easily the best player on the pitch. And Liverpool deserved all 3 points.
Mane, excellent, Stevie.
He must be thinking, why am I getting substituted? Because I was thinking it. I'm thinking, it's only 2-1, and as much as you're dominating and look as though you've got an extra gear, the game's not done. And you're taking off, as you said, the best player on the field. I found that a little strange. Now, it ends up, it's fine. Jota ends up getting a goal. And he's probably thinking, wow, I was only on the field for 20 minutes and I had 3 chances and scored 1. This is going to be great fun. But Mane, absolutely. Fantastic.
Just going back to that Lacazette chance, Frank, you've got to take that.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, when you say Mane was the best player on the field, you know, you have to also name Alisson, because Alisson did what he had to do to stop Lacazette. And he won the two tete-a-tete that he had with Lacazette, and staying up until the last second, and he was absolutely fantastic. But I think we saw when Lacazette went out, when substituted, that he wasn't happy, of course, to get out. He wasn't happy about the fact that he scored the first goal. He was unhappy because he missed 2 big chances. So maybe one was offside, maybe, but the second one, he had to score. It was 2-1, it could have been 2-2. If he didn't miss that, and if David Luiz didn't kick the ball, the header, especially in the middle, maybe Arsenal could have gotten another result.
Stevie, you shouted at me yesterday. You said I needed to hold my horses because I was concerned from a neutral's point of view that Liverpool could run away with this league once again, given the Manchester City performance we saw yesterday. Do I still have to hold my horses?
Yeah, I think so. Listen, there's no question Liverpool are exceptional, but it is early. And so we should hold our horses. You know, I did say the problem was that line, and that's why Lacazette got in, because that line wasn't together. But listen, if we're going to ifs and ands about that, we can do it all day about the chances Liverpool had. So, yeah. No, Dan, clearly Liverpool are favourites, but it's a little early to say they're going to run away with it.
There's just such a golfing quality, you feel, Don, between them and everybody else. And I know that Everton have had a great start, Leicester as well, but it's difficult to see them maintaining this sort of level that you feel Liverpool will throughout this campaign.
Yeah, I mean, they're the full package. I mean, Everton are still trying to get where Liverpool want to be, and that might take them another couple of years. And teams like Leicester are pushing hard, sitting top of the table. So there's some good contenders and some good horses in the race. But when you think of where Liverpool are at and the strengthening that they've done, with Jota coming in and Minamino coming off the bench and Thiago not being in the squad because he wasn't match fit. I mean, they're just such an impressive unit. As Frank and Stevie was saying there, there's no real weaknesses. Even though Andy Robertson made a mistake, the only out I would give him is I think it took a slight deflection off Virgil van Dijk, who again was a rock at the back. And as Frank rightly said, I think Sadio Mane, he'll get all the plaudits on social media, but Alisson, that's why Liverpool want to be at the top table when they went out and spent the money on Alisson, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and then a record fee for Virgil van Dijk. It's where they want to be. They were just a little bit short at the time. But now you look at them and you think, well, they're 6 points ahead of Man City, which you think will be their closest rivals. Yes, City have got a game in hand. So already Liverpool are opening up a gap.
Yeah, where's the argument here, Frank, to say that Liverpool won't run away with it? Where's the weakness? Where could we see them dropping points?
Well, as I said before, when you asked me, what I thought about Liverpool and if they will be again a champion, and I put them third, which I think I'm going to be wrong, but I made a bet and I try something. But I think they can be blasé. Maybe they can think that it's already given and that they already won, and maybe they let it go. I mean, like they did just straight after the restart where they lost 2 silly games. Of course, if they are tuned in, if they keep on working like that, they're going to win, and they're going to win the league again and the Premier League again. But it's just up to them. If they're not tuned in, if they don't pay attention to what's going on, maybe they can get blasé again and lose the title. Otherwise, yeah, even Leicester is doing great. Everton is doing great. City is going to be back. So it's going to be a fight. I don't know what's going to happen to Chelsea and Manchester United, but the fight is just started. So you cannot say, oh, it's going to be an easy run for Liverpool, because we're far away from there. Lots of surprises, I guess, during the season, hopefully.
It's rare, isn't it, for considering what we saw this weekend. We're not really talking about officials, decisions, handballs or penalties. Although early on, Mane, could he have been sent off, do you think, Frank, for the old elbow? Yeah,
we've seen worse, and we've seen a red card for even less than that. So it could have been, because I didn't get what he said, what he did. Sorry, he had something with Bellerin just before, and then elbowed the guy. I think it was Tierney just after that. Yeah, the ref could have given him a red card, and nobody would have said it's a scandal. So it's something like that. We can change a result.
Yeah.
Imagine they have a red card. What's going to happen? Maybe they don't win that game.
Don?
I think it's one of them, Dan, where if the referee had issued a red card, you wouldn't have really argued against the referee. I knew exactly what Sadio Mane was trying to do. Normally, when a defender's coming in on one side, you sort of try and fob him off a little bit, but he had the sort of fist clenched. I didn't think it was a red in the time. I thought it was a yellow. I was quite happy with the officials going with the yellow, but if it had been a red, I don't think there would have been any complaints.
Stevie?
Well, I think the referee got it right, but there are some referees who would have given a red card. The ref got it right because his intention wasn't to catch Tierney across the side of the jaw, which he did. Now that in itself, I guess you can argue is a red card. He's put his arm out just to protect himself, because it looks like it's going to be a shoulder charge between the two of them, and of course Tierney doesn't go for it. So I think the referee got it right, but I'm with Don. If he had given him a red, it would be hard to argue, because he did catch him on the side of his chin.
What's Arsenal's big takeaway from this, Don?
I think they can be semi-pleased. I think they want to be where Liverpool are at right now, Dan, and I think
long way
under
off,
Nicol Arteta
they're
getting there. I think they're certainly trying. I see more defensive qualities in them. They're harder to beat. Their shape looks good when they play with 3 at the back and the 2 wing backs and 2 holding midfield players protecting. It's can they be a little bit more expansive when they're playing against the lesser sides? The industry's there. They don't carry any passengers anymore, Dan. I keep saying that when you watch Arsenal over the last decade, whenever they've played against teams against the top 6, they're always carrying 1 or 2 passengers. Not tonight. I thought every single player put a shift in, and it was an honest shift.
It all sounds a bit patronising to Arsenal, doesn't it, Stevie? Well done, you tried hard, you're getting a bit better, people are trying.
Do you know, Dan, this is a real tough one. This is, people going about coaching being about, tactics on the field and bringing players off and doing this and doing that, but It all carries on the plane, on the way home, and then the following day when you're coming in, how the manager, how the guy in charge is putting over what happened in this game. Because as a player, you'll be sitting there on the plane on the way back tonight and going, we got absolutely battered tonight. I'm absolutely shattered. Because you can see some of the Arsenal players were out on their feet because they got run around. And when you're doing so much defending, it absolutely sucks the life out of you. So this is when a lot of the stuff that people don't see about the coach's job. Is he going to be the rah-rah of how good they were together, how unlucky they were, how unlucky was Lacazette, a great save and we could have got a point, and are they all going to fall for it? So in the next couple of days, he's going to be earning his corn.
Last word on this for you, Frank.
Well, you know, they kind of regrets because they didn't do what they had to do, and that was my concern about William. And I'm gonna point the problem on him, where I think he touched like 8 balls, you know, in the first half, and he was the guy we didn't follow, Robertson, you know, on the cross from Alexander-Arnold. That we all know around the world that when Alexander-Arnold has the ball, Robertson goes for the far post, and you should be there. That was the problem when he was playing for Chelsea. He could be the best player in the world and disappear completely and not doing his defensive part of the job. But also, I think in the midfield, with the crazy suicide passes that they make in the 6-yard box, you know, from Leno to David Luiz with holding, and where everybody starts sweating and everything, just to take that risk for at the end of the day giving it to a midfielder who is not capable of keeping the ball, just throwing a long ball where the three at front didn't get, never gotten them. I think it's crazy. I don't know what Ceballos was on the bench. Really, when he came, we felt the differences of technique and the fact that he could bring some good balls, like the one he gave to Lacazette and some others. So there were some mistakes that they could correct. They could have corrected, and they didn't. But they have to change some stuff, because it's not the way that I see Arsenal, and I see the big club Arsenal playing.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.